Next in line is core.css inside of the CSS directory. So if we open core.css, scroll right to the bottom, and we need to add one definition for label. A label will be white hyphen space, which will equal no wrap, and we need to make it important to override some of the existing rules. Okay, so now we can save the file and close it. Now we go into our classes directory. What we're going to do is comment our current URL class, because we're going to be completely overwriting this with a new one. We can comment or remove it altogether, basically, but I'm just going to basically put underscore for the time being. Now we start url.php, new file obviously, and inside of this file we create a new class definition. So open in PHP tag class URL, two curly brackets, and a few new lines. First, we're going to define a few properties. Public key underscore page equals page. This is basically what key you're going to be using to indicate that the element you want to call is the page, basically from the pages table. I'm going to use page. You can shorten this, use any other keyword you want. Public, now key underscore modules equals array, and the only other module than the front one will be called panel, which is got basically for our control panel. Then public module equals by default front, then public main equals index by default, which is basically the page, default page. Then we have public cpage equals index as well, because cpage will be basically the same as main unless we find the page property in the URL, which would override basically the cpage, but main will always remain as a first element of the URL is always going to be assigned to the main property. Then we have public C for the controller, login, for the control panel, basically public, A for action, index, again for the control panel, then public params are all other parameters we're going to find in a URL. By default, it's an empty array. Then we have public params raw, which will be array as well, and params raw are going to be any parameter that will be after dynamic parameters, basically after the question mark. Let's say page equals something. Then we're going to have the last property, which is public as well, and string raw, which is basically the entire string, dynamic string in a URL. If there will be obviously ones when we're coming back from PayPal, because PayPal sends these parameters through the dynamic URLs, obviously using dynamic parameters, so obviously we're gonna have a use that. Okay, let's create the constructor as well. Public function underscore construct, and then this process, the methods, which we'll create a little bit later on. Now I think we are done for the time being. Let's move to the next video.